I would like to call to order. Thanks, John. The FHR meeting for October 23rd, 2025. I see currently with the FHR committee, I'm sure that Supervisor Shakur and Supervisor Wish, I'm not certain, are going to be in attendance, but it's 5:02. I expect Supervisor Shakur to be walking in shortly. Youth and Governance. Good evening, Vinny. Thank you. I have a couple of comments. Just in general, I've been sat up here last week and I talked about my favorite sport, my favorite team, the Brewers. It was the best record we've seen them ever have in club history. I'm telling you, it's hard to compete with a team that has a $400 million plus payroll compared to our team that has a $130 million payroll. It is so doggone hard. So with that comment, go Blue Jays. Okay. Vinny, could I ask as a youth and governance representative to read the statement, please? Oh, nice.
Hello, I'm a member of Racine County's Youth and Governance Program, and I'll be participating in tonight's meeting. This program serves to empower youth in Racine County by encouraging us to participate in local government. I have agreed to abide by the applicable standards of conduct that would govern any elected board member. While I am encouraged to participate and are allowed to have a non-binding advisory vote on matters before the committee, all formal action taken by this committee will be based solely on the binding votes made by this county supervisors. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next up, we have approval of the minutes from October 16th, 2025. I need a motion.
So move.
I have a first and I have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Youth and Governance, all in favor? Committee, all in favor? Any opposed? Hearing none, the minutes of October 16th, 2025 are approved. I'm going to move down to number 5, transfers, the Human Services Department. I believe I have Director Otto here, and it is in regards to number A, authorize the acceptance of the Wisconsin Department of Justice grant in the amount of $96,090 and transfer into the Human Services Department budget, requesting first and second readings at tonight's county board meeting. In conjunction, I believe these run parallel. I'm also looking for Director Otto to speak on behalf of the acceptance of a Wisconsin Department of Justice grant in the amount of $97,920 and transferring into the Human Service Department budget, looking for approval and then reading for first and second at tonight's county board meeting. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I want to thank both you and the county board chair for allowing the first and second reading. I know we tried to not do those in a county board of pushing these through. Unfortunately, the state has had a pattern of giving us grants and then waiting for a long period of time to award them to us and then asking for signing within like a couple weeks, and that's what happened here. So we wrote for 2 separate grants through the Department of Justice, both awarding in almost the exact same amounts. We wrote them in a very similar fashion to help expand our summer youth employment program. Our goal is to be able to have ongoing career and vocational support for at-risk youth and justice-involved youth, both in our facility and in the community. These will serve 17 youth for one of the grants and 15 youth for the others, modeling the summer youth employment program with similar wages, up to 20 hours a week for a 6-month period. We're hoping that these are renewable, but we are utilizing our existing summer youth employment staff and youth justice staff, and this has no net increase to our overall operational budget.
Mr. Chairman,
Supervisor Miller?
I'd like to make a motion to send both of these to the county board for first and second reading tonight. And then I have a couple comments.
Do I have a second? I have a first and I have a second. Discussion. Supervisor Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just very pleased with this. Um, Over the years, I've watched your department, and before it was your department, come time and again with these grants. And when people wonder how we keep our costs down, it's because of the innovation and the determination and really the vitality that's in your department to get these. And they're for such good purposes, because we know that this is a growing program, an exciting program. It's really transforming the lives of our youth and teaching them job skills. I love the stories about how some of these young people are getting jobs with the place they're placed, and that's so many good things. So I just wanted to commend you and thank you.
Thank you. And that reminded me, if you don't mind me adding, the grant was written by both Travis Richardson and Steve Bedwell, and they're just a dynamic duo, and just to give credit to them because they're the ones that did it.
Thank you. Comments? Supervisor Caprillion.
Thank you. When I was reading through the grants, I just looked at there's a little bit differing of time period. I know you said something about the summer program. This is an extension, or so it's not just for a summer youth employment?
No. So we're hoping that the summer youth employment will serve as a referral source for this. So this is a continuation of the summer youth employment, utilizing the successes of that model. So we wrote the grant for that 6-month extended period outside of summer, matching the summer youth program.
Makes sense. Thank you.
Mhm.
Very exciting. And then can I ask, where do the youth find these opportunities?
Where do the youth get placed?
Yeah, no, define the opportunities. If there's some youth, there was some, because there's a lot of youth that go through the youth and governance program that do not get placed through our
Oh.
program. So this is just through the DOJ? Is this through, how do you work it? And then I want to also ask one other question. So if
Sure.
you can just go with that first.
So our referrals come, I mean, now we're getting more referrals than we have spaces, to your point. Initially, we started with 25 participants. We're up to 120. And so we, I think, get almost double that in applications. And so what we're looking for this is continuing potentially existing placements of the summer youth employment program for individuals, as Vice Chairman Miller mentioned, that are already wanting to hire on or exploring the idea of hiring them on and just need some support, financial support to do that. So smaller businesses, Downtown Racine is one of the partners I know that has hired on several of our people. So we're helping to build capacity of small businesses and hopefully giving the opportunity to hire on for long term.
Well, I really like this spider web reach we have across the county. So it really builds community pride, and it's nice that we have our county supporting that. So I'm going to let my other question just kind of die. It had something to do with some of the compliance, but I figure you guys got it. So it's good.
Okay.
Thank you, Supervisor Caprillion. Any other comments? I do have a last comment to make. I had the opportunity last week to speak with Steve Bedwell and ask him if he was prepared for the program and ready to go. And he said, I was ready to go 2 months ago. I wish it was, there wasn't a delay at the state level. And I'm confident that we will be able to carry through the project, and hopefully this will morph into something in the future. So I'm very impressed. Thank you for being prepared, and thank you, not only you, but thank you for Steve Bedwell being prepared for this. As soon as it's approved by the county board, we'll take off on it. So thank you. Any additional questions? Okay, none.
Great,
Um,
thank you.
I need to take a vote on this. Youth and governance, all in favor? Committee, all in favor? Any opposed? Items number 5A and 5B are approved for first and second reading for tonight's October 23rd, 2025 County Board meeting. Thank you. Next up, I have transfer of the sheriff's office. I have Captain Kerry Madrigal here requesting authorization of acceptance of a port security grant in the amount of $412,500. Transfer of the funds between the sheriff's office and the capital 2026 budget. Looking for first reading tonight at the county board. Good evening, Kerry.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm well. How about you?
Just fantastic.
Great.
So this is, there's been a lot of talk about the big boat. We, a month ago, would have been coming to county board asking for $1.5 million to be split over 3 years. The current boat that we run on Lake Michigan for our water patrol is from 1971, and it's well over its expiration date. And so we put in, when I say we, it's really Captain Evans that put in for this grant with Travis Richardson. And just a couple of weeks ago, we found out that we received it in the amount of $412,500. So that is good because it takes a year off of that large ask. So yeah, that's what it is. And we were lucky enough to have been selected to receive it.
Thank you. Questions from the committee?
Mr. Chairman.
Supervisor Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Always good to get federal grants, and as I did praise the Human Services Department, I will add praise to the Sheriff's Office because I know over the years you are always looking for ways to supplement your revenue, and we're very grateful to that. As I read through this, I was curious, intrigued, and kind of prematurely happy perhaps, because when you look on 48 of our packet, it says equipment, and it says one vessel, and it says the unit price is 550,000. So I don't know if that means somebody thinks we can find a vessel for that cost, or if there are vessels of that cost, and that raises in my mind, could we pursue a vessel of that cost?
So I think that was the most that we could put in for. It wasn't that, the boat that we need is well over that. But for this grant, we had to, that was the max that we could put it in for. So.
Okay. And I know this isn't in the area you've been working on, but do you think there are vessels at that cost?
Not to replace boat one, unfortunately.
Okay. The other question I have then, if the grantors are saying the unit price of the boat is 550, are they aware, do they accept a bigger boat at a bigger price, and this is just a partial payment?
Unfortunately, I can't speak to that. I mean, I'd be shocked if we received this and it had not already been talked about or discussed. Gwen, do you know by chance?
I'm looking at the application. I just wanted to note to add on to your explanation. We've written this grant for 4 years in a row. This has gone to Finance Committee for 4 years in a row. In fact, Supervisor Wish would always ask, port security, we don't have a port. So it is actually kind of amazing that we did receive this, but let me pull the most recent application and I can let you guys know.
Questions from the committee? Supervisor Caprillion.
You know, I was just, when I was looking at this and, you know, I'm always delightful. What a great sizable grant. My concern was when we were having discussions here for the budget was, you know, that boat got brought up. And if it were to get pulled from the budget, you know, what does this mean? Then, you know, that money just dissipates and, you know, I haven't seen any amendments. But you know, maybe I'm just kind of saying this out loud. I mean, obviously, I think it just dissipates. But I guess more formalities, if we're here approving it and then we're going to go into our budget meeting, would this have to pop back up for us to do anything, or does this die?
Mr. Chairman.
It's only the first reading.
Yeah, and I would think Gwen, Director Zimmer might have an answer to that question in the event that this doesn't get through committee, this doesn't get through the county board. What happens with the funds? I mean, we can guess, probably return them, but I'm going to ask,
Yeah, we wouldn't be able to accept the grant if not for the required county match of 137,000. So if that project were pulled from the budget, there is no match funds available to allow us to accept the grant. We would lose the funding.
Mr. Chairman, just follow up, and I think, the timing is appropriate. My question certainly can be answered before second reading if it can't be answered right now. But if the county board does a change in the request for the vote, then I don't think the county board would approve this either.
questions from the committee? Okay,
I would make a motion to send it to county board for first reading tonight.
I hear first and a second. Any additional discussion?
Just that, I need an answer to that question. 'Cause
Absolutely.
Could you clarify that question?
So the part of the grant says that it's on page 48 of our packet, the unit price is $550. What they're gonna pay and the balance is for us. But my question is, are they expecting that that's the price of the equipment we're gonna purchase?
Okay, thank you.
And I apologize. Captain Evans is on vacation, so you got stuck with me.
We have time.
Okay, and we'll address that. So I have a first and a second. Hearing no additional discussion, youth and governance, all in favor? Committee, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, this is approved for first reading this evening at the county board meeting. Okay, moving on. I'm going to address items 7 through 11. Excuse me. Oh, I skipped 6. I'm sorry. Let's go back number 6. The initial discussion about the budget. I'm going to put it on the floor to first the committee and then to any supervisors. Is there any additional or initial discussion to the budget?
Mr. Chairman.
Supervisor Miller.
Thank you. Some of this will be repetitive from some of my comments in the past, though. First of all, this has been a very vigorous review of the budget, probably the most vigorous I've ever seen. It's been helpful. We all learned a lot. We shared ideas, we shared frustrations, and I think that'll result in a better product. When I think of voting for a budget, I always think of giving the bill for the taxes to my neighbor. And can I explain it? Can I justify it? And are they going to punch me, or are they going to say, oh, that's not too bad? And when we passed the sales tax, and yes, I did not vote for it, but because I wanted more explicit property tax relief, I was expecting that infusion of $20 million would really put us in good shape for this year. And we have found that we still have a lot of stress and strain. And that is what I'm concerned about now, but also the future. If we have stress and strain this year, it's only going to be worse next year because all costs go up. So I know the county executive is working on some modification that's going to bring that levy down. I'm so excited that that's happening, and I'm pleased. I still will want to see if we can, do even a little better than he's proposing. But there's just challenging times ahead, and I think even though compared to other counties, our burden is light, compared to what we have done in the past, we have to think about the impact of what we're doing to our citizens. The 5 emails I received, and I got a couple calls as well, have a pretty standard theme of, you know, it can't be too high. That increase can't, everybody knows things go up, but they don't want it to be too high. And several of them mentioned, especially after you implemented the sales tax. And I said last year, you're probably getting sick of hearing it, a $20 million sales tax is like a 30% levy increase. And then, you know, what is appropriate to add for that? I think not very much at all. So glad there's some proposals for modification coming. I hope we can do even a little better than that, but my concern is that we really understand the need to be, as we have been in the past, frugal going forward.
Thank you, Supervisor Miller. Any other comments? Okay, I'll move on to, I'm gonna lump items 7 through 11, and unless there is objection, I'm requesting as chairman to postpone these items for our FHR meeting scheduled on December 3rd, 2025. It seems like we have used a lot of our time. Those that have spare time amongst their work, amongst their current readings, amongst their current budget reviews, amongst their family time. I'd like to, again, without objection, postpone this so we can have time to read items 7 through 11. Do I hear any objection? No. Go ahead.
I'll just comment that I'm very grateful for that, because when I saw that, I thought, my brain cannot process this at this time. It's full of budget numbers, full of budget issues, and these are probably good policy suggestions, but not the right time.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to move on to number 12, the Finance Department authorizing amendments to the 2026 Racine County Executive Budget and adopting the budget as amended. We're going to ask for first reading tonight, October 23rd, 2025 at the county board meeting. Discussion.
I'll move to send this to the county board for first reading.
I have a first and I have a second. Any additional discussion about moving this forward this evening to the county board meeting?
Just
Go ahead.
one disclaimer. Based on my previous comments, you know that I will be looking for and supporting changes, but we still have to get it to the floor, so that's why I'm making this motion.
Thank you. Yeah, I just have a note here in front of me. The Finance Department would like, and myself, if possible, amendments listed separately, if you could, please, turned into the Finance Department on or before October 27th. That's this next Monday. The Finance Department, will be available to assist personally or on the telephone to walk you through these. Okay? So those that have amendments in mind, please make your best effort to get them in by Monday. I was asked by, I think it was Supervisor Shakur, let's try to get them in by 4 o'clock too. Okay? Thank you. I have a first and a second. Any additional discussion? Youth and Governance, all in favor? Committee, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. The 2026 Racine County Executive Budget and adopting the budget as amended will be read in tonight's reading of first reading at the county board meeting. Next up, I have Kristen Hansen with PFM here, authorizing the issuance and establishing parameters for the sale of not to exceed $550,000 in general obligation promissory notes, Series 2026B, and looking for this to be read into the county board this evening, October 23rd. In conjunction with that, also, we have Kristen here from PFM authorizing the issuance and establishing parameters for the sale of not to exceed $13,930,000 general obligation promissory notes 2026A, again, for reading to be included in this evening's October 23rd, 2025 county budget. I have Gwen Zimmer here. I'd like her to speak first.
Just to give an overview, a few years ago, we changed the process of authorizing debt borrowing in the capital plan included in the annual budgets. We used to go to the county board the day of the market so that the board could authorize the actual bids that come in and authorize the sale. That can get really difficult because you have to schedule it on the night of a meeting. And I remember one year we did it the night of the county board or the state of the county. It got really hectic. So under the advisement of PFM, our financial advisors, we started doing parameters resolutions, which give us the authority not to exceed a dollar amount and not to exceed an interest rate, so that with PFM's guidance, we can go to market when it would be most advantageous for the county. For instance, we're going for borrowing on next Tuesday, the 28th at 9:30 a.m. because apparently that's a good time to go to market. So these two issuances are all of the capital that are bonding funded in the 2026 proposed budget. If there are any projects that are removed or amended to be taken out of the budget, the parameters resolution would be, we would decrease the amount of borrowing. We would not borrow for any projects that don't actually make it through to the proposed budget. So Kristen here has a PowerPoint that kind of outlines it, and she's happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Director Zimmer. Kristen, your show.
For the record, this is Kristen Hansen, Director at PFM Financial Advisors. And I will be walking through this PowerPoint. This is, as Director Zimmer indicated, as you go through your annual capital improvement planning budget, we kind of align these parameters resolutions at the same time. So you're thinking and discussing this all at the same time. So moving to slide 2, essentially we're going to go through the 2026 borrowing for the capital improvement plan. And once it gets to the second reading, it will require a 3/4 vote. The resolutions that are also included in the packet have been prepared by bond counsel, just so you know. So skipping to slide 3, this shows the two different borrowing amounts. You have the 2026 A series, the not to exceed $13,930,000, which funds highways and bridges, buildings and facilities and equipment. And as Director Zimmer indicated, as you go through the budget process, if there's projects that do get cut, this is a not to exceed, and you would borrow less than what the not to exceed amount is. You also have a taxable component, which is the $550,000 to 226 Bs. This is to finance a revolving loan fund. And this is similar to a taxable issue you did a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. So that is what we always like to show as the project amount and the borrowing amount, because the actual project amount, there are cost of issuance that get built into it, fees, underwriter's discount. And so that's why the two numbers are not the same. So similar to what you've seen in the past, the 2026 parameters resolution has that not to exceed amount. It authorizes the county executive, corporate counsel, or the finance directors to accept bids for the financing on a date that we determine works for, 1, when you need the money, 2, when there's not a lot of activity going on in the market, there's not data being released, the feds aren't meeting, things like that, that create some more volatility than you want to be in. So the principal amount does not exceed the 13,930,000. The principal amounts are essentially as described on page 7 of the presentation. The true interest cost rate, which is the interest rate by which we award sales, does not exceed 6%, similar to what you've seen in the past. The interest payments are due March 1st and September 1st, beginning March 1st of 2027. We're not talking about doing the borrowing until after your fiscal year 2025 ACFR comes out. So this is, well into the future. Principal payments are due March 1st, beginning March 1st, 2027 through March 1st, 2046. The notes will be callable. And when we determine the day of the sale, we do very detailed sale details that go to the county bond council, disclosure council. And so at that time, we work with our pricing group to see what the market will bear in terms of a call date. And that call date basically allows the county, if interest rates in the future are lower, you're able to refinance and take advantage of that for economic savings. And then the finance director must report the sale results to the finance committee and the county board, which is similar to what I did a couple weeks ago when I was here. Page 5 is for the 2026 parameters resolution, the taxable issue. The not to exceed amount is $550,000, and we have the proposed principal amounts listed there. The true interest cost rate does not exceed 7%. Taxable debt is more expensive than tax exempt debt, so that's why we include that. Interest payments are due March 1st and September 1st, beginning March 1st of 2027. And the principal payments are due March 1st, beginning March 1st, 2027 through March 1st, 2031. We like to mature these short because they're taxable rates, they're higher rates. And so we don't want you to have to spread a small issue out for a longer period of time. Because it's so short, if it's only 5 years, they will not be callable. And similar as the other requirement, the finance director must report the sale results to the finance committee and county board. As you know, I've been including what's been happening with the market in every one of these presentations, so you can see what's been happening with 20-year debt over the last 10 years. This is tax exempt AA rated debt, which is what the county's rating is. Page 7 shows the estimated debt service for the 2026 borrowings using the interest rates, the not to exceed interest rates. As you know, when we sold the 2025 GO notes for your CIP projects, the interest rate was just about 4%. So here, this is a more conservative, just so you know, with the not to exceed amount. Page 8, for the people that don't like numbers and like visuals, this shows what your existing levy supported debt is. This does include your 2025 borrowing for the CIP projects, the proposed debt service schedules for the borrowing we're going to do on Tuesday, for the 911 communication, marina, and public safety building projects, and then those numbers being reduced by the offsetting special assessments and marina fees for the special assessment that Foxconn is paying and what the marina pays to the county. Page 9 shows the existing debt service plus the estimated 2026 issuances. The yellow bars would be the 2026 A series, and the little itty bitty gray bars above those for 2021 to 2031 would be the taxable, the 2026 Bs. Page 10 just shows kind of what's happening with the mill rate related to debt. For your outstanding proposed debt, what's going to be borrowed on Tuesday, and then the 2026 issuances. And then lastly, just shows kind of the timing. And as you know, and as Director Zimmer indicated, we kind of don't know the timing. Traditionally, it happens after the release of your ACFR. This shows you calling, considering the parameters resolutions tonight, first reading at the county board meeting, and then the second reading at the November 3rd meeting.
Questions from the committee? Supervisor Miller?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Kristen. We received today the last bond rating report, and it was pretty good. Do you want to comment on that at all? Because I think it's relevant.
Yes, about a week ago, we had a rating call with S&P, and they reviewed kind of the official statement. They look at your audited financials. The county's been very transparent about the upcoming kind of capital projects that are coming up and recognizing those, and basically affirmed the AA rating with a stable outlook, even knowing that future debt is on the horizon. They do comment on, kind of your strong, valuation growth, your location between the city of Milwaukee and the city of Wisconsin. And so it was a very nice,
Chicago.
did I say Minneapolis?
No, you said Wisconsin.
Oh my gosh.
Just to correct, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, between Chicago and Milwaukee.
Mhm. Thank you. Any additional questions?
Well, Mr. Chairman, I think we need two separate motions, so I will move to send the parameters resolution for 550,000, general obligation promissory notes 26B to County Board for first reading tonight.
First and a second. Additional questions, additional comments?
Mr. Chairman,
Supervisor Preisker.
are you allowing questions from
Yeah,
people that are on the
sure.
committee? Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Kristen, I have two questions for you. One, is it possible to see the debt schedule, the principal and interest in a description based on the maturity dates rather than the issue dates, so that we can essentially see, what's rolling off, basically what's maturing year by year, so that we can match that with the current debt issuance? Because now I know we're planning to issue almost 14 million. but
I think we have. Is that right?
Yeah.
Responded to your question already? We responded to that question already.
Okay,
It's online.
I'll double check. The one that I saw still seemed listed by issuance date
can't.
and not by, but I'll double check if we have that. It would still be nice to see it in the context of our financial advisor and the bond issuance, so that we can see the difference between what we're issuing in a year and what's being paid off in that year, to know the difference. To your point, Supervisor Miller, you want to know what the impact is to the taxpayers. I mean, 14 million sounds like a lot, but if 14 million is maturing, then it's really no difference in the debt, right? That's the point I'm trying to make. And it relates to my second question, which is, I would like to see us create a debt capacity policy. And the reason for that is, if we know what that is, then we can basically divide that by 20 years and then know where the hard limit is for each year, and help us prioritize then whatever that is. We know, X amount every year we need to put for roads, and X amount's going to be for new squads every year, or X amount's going to be for plows. That's just the annual stuff we have to buy every year. It's not really a question. And then try to squeeze in these bigger capital and facility projects that aren't recurring every single year, with the remaining capacity we have.
Comment, Kristen?
I would say that happy to work with Director Zimmer
Yes.
to, pull together that information. We do it similarly for, other counties, kind of, by debt issue. I'm thinking virtually of a kind of a graph, a colorful graph that shows, by issue. And then also, we're happy to work with the county on developing a debt policy. We just finished doing that for City of Milwaukee, as well as another county that's looking at some substantial capital projects, larger than what you're thinking.
All right.
Thank you. I'll let you work with Director Zimmer in regards to those two points that
But
Just a follow.
Yeah,
If-
go ahead.
So if it's common knowledge and everyone knows what that is, then what is the number that's rolling off or being paid off this year?
Isn't that what your chart shows, though? It doesn't have a number, but can we go back to that slide? It's the bar.
I apologize if I'm not understanding.
Is it that one or the one before?
It
One
would be
before. That one.
There it is.
either or, but you're looking for actual numbers for the bars. So you can see that in 2026, that the outstanding debt that is currently supported by a levy is just over 12 million. And then in 2027, it drops, but you want to know what those numbers are
Right, but yeah,
as you add on new debt.
right.
Mhm. Go ahead, Supervisor, excuse me, Director.
I guess my point is if 13 million is being paid off in 2026 and we're issuing 13 million, then there isn't that much of a change.
Right.
In
Right.
payment, principal and interest impact or levy impact is the
Good
point I'm
point.
trying to make. Thank you.
Director Zimmer?
Yeah, and if I may just address the debt policy, I'm happy to work with the county executive and with our financial advisors to put together a policy. I need direction from this body to tell us what that policy limit should be. I don't want to pick an arbitrary number to bring to you, so I'd like that to be a discussion, so we can include that on a future finance and human resources committee agenda for discussion.
Supervisor Miller?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. And just as a follow-up to Supervisor Preisker's suggestion, I believe in the rating narrative said if we had such a policy, that would probably help in their evaluation of us for the bond rating.
Yeah, I was able to sit in on that call with S&P, and I have notes about it. I don't have them in front of me, but they had a few suggestions for us of policies that we can implement, including debt capacity. And Kristen noted that they have experience at their firm in helping counties prepare those, so we can work on those together.
Any additional comments? Supervisor Rossi?
Thank you, Chairman. First, this might be a better question for Gwen. Would we consider general fund, or is it the unassigned and general funds are reserved? I know we throw that language around a lot. Just want to make sure I understand it correctly as we define it.
Are you referring to the policy about the reserve balances?
Yes.
Yeah, it's listed in the budget book as unassigned fund balance to the general fund unassigned balance to general fund operating expenses.
Thank you. And if I
Go
may,
ahead. Yes, sir.
the second part of that then is if we look at the ACFR, we saw that last year, well, 2023, we saw a dip, one of the lowest values in the unassigned fund balances, and then general fund itself is on, I believe it's a 15 or 14-year low right now. One of the items that I noted as a sensitivity in the ratings letter is, and let me read directly from the letter, so I don't misrepresent this. One of the downside scenarios was we could lower, and this is page, this is page 3 of the ratings letter. So it says downside scenario, we could lower the rating if the county experiences further fiscal imbalances leading to additional deterioration in reserves, or if its debt profile materially worsens beyond current expectations. And then to counter that, there is an upside scenario that starts with, while unlikely, we could raise the rating if economic, debt metrics, and management practices improve materially while maintaining or improving existing credit factors. So these policies seem to speak to the unlikely scenario, which I'm happy to hear that these are being developed. But I would like to urge caution that we're anticipating a lot of revenues in the proposed 2026 budget. And I just want everyone to be aware that a scenario here that could potentially affect our debt rating is, number one, if the sales tax doesn't perform the way we're thinking. Now it's looking better for the next year, but this year on our forecasted revenues, looks like we are going to miss the mark. And I am concerned at how that will look for our ratings next year. Thank you.
Director Zimmer?
I'd like to note that I disclosed that to S&P that we expect to be $1 million shortfall this year, and that did not impact our rating. I would also like to note that in the 2026 budget, the increase in fringe benefit rates for health insurance, workers' compensation, and the public liability legal fund, that builds reserves. So it is a charge to the department to create a cost pool to be able to pay some of those claims, but whatever is not used sits in that reserve balance. That is why I proposed to the county executive this year that we increase those rates so that one, we had more cushion for claims that are coming through because things are more expensive, but two, to build reserve balances back up. You're right, we're at a lower point in our reserve balances, but the 26 budget addresses that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any additional questions? Supervisor Preisker.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to follow up on the earlier conversation. So I wouldn't expect the finance director to propose a policy necessarily. Or the board to come up with one on their own. I would definitely look for, advice from the advisor on, where that should be in the eyes of the rating agencies, basically. And regarding whether we're on track for the sales tax or not, what are we considering there? Because as I looked at the first full quarter receiving it, July through September, it seemed like we were on track. And we wouldn't have expected to be on track prior to July because of the lag in collecting.
Yeah, I'm referring to forward analytics with the Wisconsin Counties Association estimation of all counties that have a sales tax. That went out maybe a month ago, and it notes 13 and some change estimated for Racine County. I don't know. I mean, it's very hard to know what we expect in particular because a lag in quarterly and semi-annual and annual reporting. I don't think that we're actually going to have a good understanding until this month's payment or next month's payment. We also don't know what the holiday impact seasonality on that's going to be. There's just so much we don't know right now.
Okay, thanks. I was just wondering, I mean, if we're
Yes.
expecting 15 because we're going to get, 9 of the 12 quarters, I guess I was thinking that would be an optimistic estimate, knowing that it wasn't even implemented until April and the first full
Mhm.
quarter wouldn't start till July.
Appreciate all the comments and the questions. We're a little bit off track here, okay?
Sure, thank you.
But it is related in general. I do believe I have a first on the floor and a second, and I'm going to move forward with a vote on this. Youth and governance, all in favor? Committee, all in favor? Any opposed? This is approved. Financing, go ahead.
I would make a motion to send to the county board for first reading the parameters resolution for the sale of not to exceed $13,930,000 general obligation promissory note series 2026A.
We have a first and a second. Any more discussion? Youth and governance, all in favor? Committee, all in favor? Are there any nays? Hearing none, this will be moved forward to first reading this evening, October 23rd, 2025. Next on my list is the Gwen Zimmer Finance Department setting a tax level for 2025 to be collected in 2026. Looking for first reading November 3 of 2025. Gwen? No? Well, go ahead. Yeah, we're gonna, we're giving approval to move forward with a tax levy that will be determined prior to the second reading on November 11th. So any
Chairman.
changes or amendments can be made in between that time, in between now and the vote for the final budget on November 3. I need a motion.
Mr. Chair, I will move to send this levy resolution to the county board for first reading on November 3rd.
I have a first and a second discussion.
just to clarify, because I had a question before the meeting, and it's understood now that whatever the county board decides to do with the budget, the numbers will then be matched up with those actions.
Thank you for that clarification again. Okay, youth and governance, all in favor? Committee, all in favor? Any opposition? Hearing none. This will be moved forward for first reading, November 3, 2025, to the county board. Next up, I have communications and report referrals from the county board. I need a motion to receive and file.
So move.
Discussion? Youth and governance, all in favor? Committee, all in favor? Any opposition? Hearing none. We have received and filed those. 17, no staff report, no action item. 18, next meeting with the FHR committee is October 29th, 2025, 5 PM. I need a motion to adjourn.
So move.
We are adjourned.